Alright, what's going on, everybody? So right now I'm trying to get the old sleeves from the old bushings off of the bolts for the lower mounted knuckle part of the lateral arm, and I think this is already part 2 of the video, right? So yeah, so I turn on my blowtorch here, so just turn it on, and it's probably gonna fade out, so I'm gonna have to spark it again. Let's see here. Started to come on here, and I'm just warming up the sleeve, and then I'm placing a socket over the top of it and hitting it off of the bolt. Sorry, I'm not getting the best angle right now. I'm trying to concentrate. I'm going to put you guys down and I'm going to set you guys back up once I install all the adjustable stuff. And I got some new lateral arms because the old ones weren't going to work, so I'm going to set you guys down here. Alright, so I got the first side on. It still needs to be adjusted. A little bit too much negative camber right now. I mean, it's just on the floor because I don't have the strut assembly. But when it is up, there is a bit of negative camber, but that can all be dealt with once the tire's on, the shock's on, and the coilover is on completely. So I guess what I'm going to do is, maybe today, but it's already 1 o'clock, I don't know. I'm going to go down to CT and get spring compressor, but yeah, I got everything on and everything's looking pretty good, so that just needs to be adjusted and everything needs to be torqued down and then adjusted. But yeah, it's went pretty well. I got the e-brake cable in. The interior of the car is a mess right now, but cable's in. So tomorrow I'm going to do the other side. I don't know if I'm going to want to film that. Maybe a bit too much work for me, to be honest. I'm kind of pooped, but yeah, once this is all in, then we are just I don't know, get the back wheels on, and then I think we need the rear harness for the SRT because of this sensor here. The sensor is not on regular neon, so I think we need the rear harness. So all I need to finish it is I need to put on, obviously, the brake line. I need to bleed the brakes, but I need the brake master cylinder first. We need the rear harness, and then that's everything for the back finished. To scrape my finger up a bit, but yeah, so, and then I got to do the other side, put the e-brake cables through, hook up the e-brake. So we need to get a harness, and we need to put our springs on, and then we're done the rear end. That's SRT rear end complete. I also got to get the sway bar on, but the brackets are in the mail for that from ST Performance. So what I'm looking for this car in the future, so obviously get the back done, and then that will be done, complete SRT rear end. I need a quarter panel because this one is fiberglass, because, well, it's some sort of composite and everything, and it's terrible and the curve's not there. So that's why when I got that new piece of quarter panel, it wouldn't fit on there. I was like kind of bummed out about that because I've got chopped it all up now. But so I'm gonna do a new metal quarter panel. I'm gonna weld it on, and then moving on to the front of the car. We need to fix the rocker down here, and then that's all the body work done once that rocker's fixed and I have the rocker inside the garage. I need the SRT rear wing. I'm not sure if I want to go with the wing yet. I'm still debating going wingless. So I need the rear wing, and we need the front suspension and the engine, and then we're done. And, you know, like the ECU and the interior, but I think I'm going to keep the cloth seats because I don't want to rip the leather and got all angry about it. I might go with Viper seats because those are the nice leather seats I like. But I'm just going to clean everything up, and then I guess I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Yeah, see you later. Alright guys, so I got the bushings off, or the sleeves of the bushings off, the bolts there. Now I'm going to show you guys the adjustable lateral arms I picked up. They're pretty cool, quite expensive, not going to lie, but I'm going to try to cut my losses by selling the lateral arms that I completely refurbished. So just because the polyurethane bushings, I'm getting a refund for those because I didn't have the right the metal part of. So when you have your bushing, you have a metal sleeve that goes on, then you have your rubber bushing, and then the sleeve that goes inside. Well, I got rid of my metal bushings at the side, and I thought I wasn't going to need those. I thought that's what the bushings replaced. That's just me being stupid and not reading the instructions beforehand. So lesson learned, but I actually picked these up after I returned everything, and yeah, so they're really cool actually. They're adjustable, and I've set them all to the same already, and I've got them partially installed on the neon on the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, you can. And now I'm gonna go ahead and try my hardest to install this knuckle, just because I'm only one person and I've got my way that I'm looking at it, how to install it is put a jack underneath it, jack it up, put the lateral arms where they need to be, and I need to head down to Canadian Tire because I was replacing the top hats on these, and I got the top hat off no problem, and I was just thinking that I was gonna move down the adjustable part of the coilover to get the spring to sit lower. But I don't have the right spanner for it, so I'm gonna just go to Canadian Tire and pick up a compression set for like $70, which is kind of outlandish, and I really don't want to spend it, but I'm gonna end up needing them eventually if I want to keep doing what I'm doing, so might as well. And I still don't have the brackets for the sway bar bushings. Like I said, I don't know if I even showed you guys the unboxing yet. I don't know. I haven't even finished editing video one yet, but the sway bar, the end link bushings, everything from the sway bar came from Summit, but Summit gets them from ST Auto, and ST Auto forgot to package in the brackets for the polyurethane sway bar end link bolt mounts, and so I'm stuck. I can't really install the sway bar anyway, so maybe today I go to Canadian Tire, maybe I do it later. My birthday's coming up, so you never even know, okay? So I'm gonna just get the knuckles installed on hopefully both sides today, and then all that's left will be the springs, which is relatively easy because they are adjustable. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to install everything, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Alright, so I got the first side on. It still needs to be adjusted. A little bit too much negative camber right now. I mean, it's just on the floor because I don't have the strut assembly, but when it is up, there's a bit of negative camber, but that can all be dealt with once the tire's on, the shock's on, and the coilover is on completely. So I guess what I'm going to do is, maybe today, but it's already 1 o'clock, I don't know. I'm going to go down to CT and get spring compressor. But yeah, I got everything on, and everything's looking pretty good, so that just needs to be adjusted, and everything needs to be torqued down and then adjusted. But yeah, it's went pretty well. I got the e-brake cable in. The interior of the car is a mess right now, but cable's in. So tomorrow I'm going to do the other side. I don't know if I'm going to want to film that. Maybe a bit too much work for me, to be honest. I'm kind of pooped, but yeah, once this is all in, then we are just I don't know, get the back wheels on, and then I think we need the rear harness for the SRT because of this sensor here. The sensor is not on regular neon, so I think we need the rear harness. So all I need to finish it is I need to put on, obviously, the brake line. I need to bleed the brakes, but I need the brake master cylinder first. We need the rear harness, and then that's everything for the back finished. Did scrape my finger up a bit, but yeah, so, and then I gotta do the other side, put the e-brake cables through, hook up the e-brake. So we need to get a harness, and we need to put our springs on, and then we're done the rear end. That's SRT rear end complete. I also got to get the sway bar on, but the brackets are in the mail for that from ST Performance. So what I'm looking for this car in the future is obviously get the back done, and then that will be done, complete SRT rear end. I need a quarter panel because this one is fiberglass, because well, it's some sort of composite and everything, and it's terrible, and the curve's not there. So that's why when I got that new piece of quarter panel, it wouldn't fit on there. I was like kind of bummed out about that because I've got it chopped it all up now. But so I'm gonna do a new metal quarter panel. I'm gonna weld it on, and then moving on to the front of the car. We need to fix the rocker down here, and then that's all the body work done once that rocker's fixed and I have the rocker inside the garage. I need the SRT rear wing. I'm not sure if I want to go with the wing yet. I'm still debating going wingless. So I need the rear wing, and we need the front suspension and the engine, and then we're done. And you know, like the ECU and the interior, but I think I'm going to keep the cloth seats because I don't want to rip the leather and got all angry about it. I might go with Viper seats because those are the nice leather seats I like. But I'm just gonna clean everything up, and then I guess I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Yeah, see you later. Hello everybody, SRT Mike here. And so today I didn't have anything to do because I got coil spring compressors, but I don't know, they just didn't work out. So I just got some spanners and I'm just gonna loosen those up, but they're coming in around the 19th of July or something like that. They're coming in later anyways. But I've just been doing a lot of little stuff just because I don't have anything to do right now other than drop the car down, because I can't really start working on the front until the back is lowered. But what I did was I had this headlight, or like tint. I had 2 rolls of tint, and I thought 2 rolls of tint was going to, or like a roll of tint was going to do 1 headlight, but like I did 1 headlight and I've still got this, and I've got another one, so maybe I'll tint my headlights too. So I decided to tint the taillights. I did one of them. It took me maybe an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know. I've just been watching some videos while I do it, trying to keep up the mood because it's like really nice and not hot. It's like cool outside, and I've got a fan going too. So it's really nice in here. I've got to adjust the fender on the driver's side, and I figured I'd do that today. I've been working like non-stop all week, so I haven't really been able to work on the car at all. That's why I haven't really recorded anything for the part 2 of the rear suspension video, other than getting everything on. So I need to adjust the front fender, but I don't know, I really just wasn't feeling it because I don't have the bolt, and I need to go to the scrap yard and get one. The front headlights, I gotta go down to Canadian Tire and I gotta get some marine grade silicone adhesive to redo the headlights. So I just figured, what the hell, I want to do something fun. And I've wanted to do the taillights for a long time now, and I gotta say, they're doing pretty good. Sorry, I don't know, shut up. Anyways, so, yeah, so, I don't know if I showed this to you guys, but here are the coilovers. I cleaned them up with some brake clean. I've got new top hats for them, that's why I had to take them apart. And I've got the hardware to fit the sway bar on there, but I realized, wait a minute, I'm going from an SXT to an SRT, and my SXT doesn't have a rear sway bar. Because this, I know that some SXTs did come with rear sway bars, not mine, but I don't have the bracket for the polyurethane bushings that came with the sway bar. So I shoot a message out to Summit Racing, and I go, yeah, so I didn't have the, all this stuff is covered with cloths and stuff right now, so I didn't have the brackets to hold these up. So I was like, well, these were supposed to come in the kit anyways, right? Well, lo and behold, they didn't come in the kit, and I was missing the hardware for them too. And in the picture of the kit, they're there. So I had to go through all this stuff with ST suspensions and Summit Racing, and I was just like barking at them trying to get that stuff. So they're like, okay, we sent you out the brackets and the hardware. And I go, yes, finally I can finish this. So I was waiting on 3 packages. They all came in, but they're at a different house. I was waiting on 3 packages. Coil spring compressor, 2 packages. Coil spring compressor and the brackets. Lo and behold, coil spring compressor doesn't work, and let me show you what they sent me instead of the brackets.
They sent me all the hardware again, with no brackets inside. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep that as spare hardware, I guess. I'm not gonna message them back, because it's been like 4 weeks, almost a month since we had our original correspondence, and I don't want to seem, I don't know. So I just bought some brackets off Summit Racing. They weren't directly for a Neon, so I'm gonna hope that they fit and the bolts work. Otherwise, I'm heading to the junkyard, and then I'll just clean it up with a wire brush and paint it. Which kind of sucks, but it really do be like that sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna show you the taillight. It doesn't look too terrible. It's my first time. There is a crease. There's a crease there and a crease there. There's no creases down here. I did pretty good with that. I got a tear there because I left the heat on for too long. And this was nicer until I got rid of the excess material, and then it, I don't know, it kind of died on me. But yeah, it didn't turn out too bad for my first try. This was cheap eBay film that I've had for over a year now. So it's pretty good though. Actually, I like the darkness of the tint. So maybe I'll get it professionally done one day if I like them. I think I'm gonna like them when they're both done, because the red just looks absolutely terrible. Right now it looks terrible because the car's 50 different colors. It also looks terrible because it looks terrible. But I don't know. I don't know. Another thing too for the back is I'm not sure how I feel about the SRT wing. Like, I like it, but I also like wingless cars with the lip, or with the ducktail, which you can get carbon fiber ducktails. Yeah, but all I've got left to do with this car is finish the rear suspension, do the front suspension, and the engine and transmission swap, which I'm going to build the engine, so I'm going to keep that engine that's in there for a bit. I've got to swap out the alternator. It's bad. I got to get a new alternator built. I have a rocker panel, so this summer I'm welding that in, and that is right over there. And quarter panel. So if you take a look here, I've made my line where I'm cutting. It goes in the door well, and this is where the closest fresh metal is, down here and up here. All the rest of this car was been in a collision before, is all this weird like fiberglass composite. I don't know. I'm not a huge body guy, so I don't know, but I've also got to, like, this whole section here is rotted off. I did not cut this, so I got to get a whole new quarter panel. Is just the best way for me to go, honestly. I was looking for like over fender kits, but I couldn't find them anymore because they're like from 2005, and if they were, then they were in the States and they would cost hundreds of dollars to just import them. But yep, once the coils are on here, this thing's gonna sit lower, it's gonna look nicer. And I've got to fix up here on the sunroof. So, and yeah, so I'm gonna tint my other taillight now. Sorry for the long update, but yeah. So as you can see on the second tail lamp, I'm in no means a professional, but you really can't see any air bubbles. I did make 2 mistakes, kind of. It's not finished yet too. I need to trim everything, but I made 2 mistakes that are really noticeable. Well, one's really noticeable. You can't really see it on camera, maybe you can, but I got too close with the heat gun and I tapped the tint and I ripped it. So I put another piece underneath. No one's really gonna see it. This still needs to be, I still need to stretch that out a bit. And then I did the same thing. I accidentally tapped it right there, but you know, it's no big deal. I got still a bit of tint left over, so I'm gonna do the fog lamps, I think. And then later today, I think I'm gonna do the headlights, because those need to come off and need to get caulked anyways. So yeah, I just gotta go down and get some stuff later, but I don't have a running car right now, obviously, or one with wheels on it at that. So yeah, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow or another day. But yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. I like it. you know, it's giving me experience in doing these sort of things, and I'm always up for experience. I think these sheets only costed like $11 for that whole roll, and I got 2 of them. So, you know, it's pretty good. I might end up actually ordering more in case I want to take this off at any point and redo it, because I do think I'm getting better. I just, I need to just practice more and learn more. But, yeah, so, So I've finished this taillight, and although the wrap itself might not have, it was actually, in some places it was better in terms of getting all the folds out, but in other places it was worse. Like, I had this mishap. If I didn't have this mishap here, then this whole taillight would be pristine to me, but you know, it's me. I'm gonna notice every flaw. Someone else might not. Eventually they will, though. But what I decided to do, instead of cutting it right where the lens ends, is I folded it over, and I actually stuck it to the side here to give it a bit of a stronger adhesion. I need to cut this. This is not staying like that. But this is my theory anyways. This fold here is pretty bad. Again, as I said, I'm not a professional wrapper or tinter, but you know, I think that's gonna work out pretty well. And again, it's a taillight for a Dodge Neon, so who the hell cares? But yeah, I think I'm gonna do the fog lights now with the scraps I have. So yeah. So what's up? I just finished installing the coilover over here. Turns out I didn't need all this spring compressor and stuff. I was just being stupid. I just put it in there, and then I put the cap on. That plastic piece needs to slide up to line up with the top hat. But coilover's in. I think I have the brake lines messed up back here because the way this is going in is just wrong. So I'm gonna have to do the other side and just check. And maybe I have some stuff wrong, but this is just, caliper's just oxidized right now. There's nothing wrong with it, or the caliper, the rotor. So, and it's an old rotor too, so when I get new drilled and slotted ones, they're going to be a bit nicer, but for right now I'm just worried about the brake lines, and then they're not bad. So yeah, I'm going to complete this and then get the wheels on, and I'm going to lower this thing down for the first time in a long time, see how low those calipers sit. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder, because I can get this video posted, the second part of it, and I can have this car back on the ground, and I can start working on the front. And we're doing the whole front, except for I'm still waiting on the brackets for the rear sway bar, but that's a different story. So I'm gonna start getting this other side done. Yeah, and the taillights, I ordered some new tint already for them, because I'm a newbie to this, right? So like, there's bubbles and everything, but yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I got it finished, but I couldn't figure out the brake lines at all. I think it's because of the rear control arms, like the new lateral arms that I got. I think I have to adjust them a bit, but I'm gonna put the tires on and lower the car down, because I can always do that at a later point, because the e-brake's working right now, so I don't really need my rear brakes, and I'm still waiting on the master cylinder, so I can't bleed the brakes at all. So maybe I'll order some aftermarket ones, or I'm gonna actually post on a Facebook group I'm a part of and ask about it. But for right now, this is that side finished, and most likely this is the video finished when I lower the car down, and you get to see what the rear of the car looks like on coilovers, with a chunk of the fender missing, and the suspension not being finished because there's no sway bar installed. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel on, and on the other side as well, and finish that up. So I just finished adjusting the camber, so there's no camber, well, as little camber as there can be on the back wheels. I don't know if I'm putting camber on these wheels as they are, because it looks like there's a bit of negative camber on them right now. If you can see, the wheel kind of looks like it's tilted a bit up like this. But I'm sure when the car lowers down, that will be fixed. These wheels are trash. They are old wheels, very era, for like 2000s era, 2010 maybe. I definitely don't deserve to be on this car. So wheels are a thing that's coming way down the line, because I'm doing suspension and everything first, before wheels, engine swap, all the expensive stuff, and then the wheels, because they get pretty expensive. Right now, these wheels are wrapped in Continental
Continental Pro contacts. I have no clue. I don't know when they were made. I'm sure I could find it on here, but I really don't want to spend the time. Is it rubbing? What is it rubbing on? Uh-oh, tire's rubbing on the trailing arm. Sorry. Tire's rubbing on the trailing arm, so I will have to adjust the camber on this lateral arm, at least here, and bring the tire out a bit, or run a spacer, but I really don't want to run spacers because I think people who run spacers without having a deep dish rim just looks funny. There's a guy who has a Lancer down the street and he runs spacers, but his tires are so thin both in the front and the back, so and he has it riced out to look like an Evo, whatever, but yeah, so it's rubbing there. I don't know if it's rubbing on the other side. If it is, then yeah, it's rubbing on both sides, so I'm gonna have to adjust that before I lower the car down, but I'm gonna set you guys up to see the car being lowered down. I guess I gotta adjust that first though.